Hey, what's up? This is Ross, and I'm going to be giving my review today on Thor: The Dark World. I didn't give it when I saw it, so I wanted to give it today of what I thought about the movie. Now it has pretty much the same cast: Anthony Hopkins, Tom Hiddleston, Chris Hemsworth, which is always brooding as Thor, and Natalie Portman, and Stellan Skarsgård, and it has it is in every single way, I think, much bigger than Thor, and I'll tell you why too. Okay, the first Thor spent a lot of time on Earth, okay? It was kind of earthbound. And for maybe a few minutes in the film, you see Asgard. And it was beautifully rendered in there. It was probably one of the most prominent scenes out of the whole entire movie. And my wish was that they would have spent a little bit more time in Asgard. Well, I got my wish in this one, and they do spend a lot more time in Asgard. Now, the plot goes, and I'm not going to say any spoilers here, but the plot goes that the long ago, before the war with the frost giants, there was a race of aliens called the Dark Elves, which are in many terms the nemesis of the 9 realms of Yggdrasil. So that means that these Dark Elves are the main foe of all of Asgard. And what happens in this movie is in that middle of that battle, there is a lead general of the Dark Elves, the leader, named Malekith, who's played by Christopher Eccleston of Doctor Who fame, who plays him brilliantly. In fact, I wish he was on the screen a bit more. That's the only kind of complaint that I would have about him playing the role. But he plays him beautifully. Who has a key that would basically bring all 9 realms into upheaval, whoever has this key. Now, in the middle of the movie, and this is really not a spoiler because you're just going to really pretty much see it in the movie, Natalie Portman's character, Jane Foster, comes in contact with that key, and somehow it gets in her bloodstream and in her body, and now she is the harbinger of this key that is the destruction of the 9 realms. Now, of course, Thor's father, Odin, is not too happy about this, and he's not very happy about how the human race has been getting themselves into trouble. So this is yet another thing to prove him right. And he doesn't like the fact that his son has a relationship with a mortal woman, Jane Foster. So he sees this as kind of like a bad omen for Asgard. So what happens is basically the Dark Elves declare war on Asgard, and basically Malekith wants this key at any cost, and he sends his troops to do the dirty work in Asgard, and basically he'll stop at nothing to gain entrance into Asgard and to destroy the Asgardians and everything in Asgard as much as possible. And guess who's the only one that can stop it? Of course, you're right, Thor. But here's the catch: here is the catch. And here's a big catch. Thor cannot handle this enemy alone, because this enemy, the Dark Elves, what's unique about the Dark Elves is that they rely a lot on technology that they have made. Extremely advanced technology that has basically made them unstoppable with this technology that they have. Alright, now they do have some old school medieval stuff, like kind of Viking stuff, but they also rely on technology that is far more advanced than anything that Asgard has. So basically that's what the Dark Elves rely on. Now, here's where we get to Tom Hiddleston's role of Loki, who Thor has to ask for Loki's help. Look, I can't deal with this alone, but if you betray me again, I will kill you, and I will make sure that you are going to be punished even more severe than you were after what happened in New York and the Avengers. So that's what he tells Loki, and now here they're set off on a quest to defeat the Malekith and his Dark Elves, and prevent war from happening on the nine realms. Because if this key gets in Malekith's hand, he can join the 9 realms into complete chaos and upheaval, and he will gain control of the 9 realms as he sees fit. That's what they want to try to avoid. So what happens is basically they also need Jane Foster's help. Now, the battle scenes in Thor are absolutely epic. They're a lot more intense than the last Thor. We get to see a lot more of Mjolnir, of Thor using Mjolnir, and Thor does a lot more stuff, and he's got a lot more action scenes in there, and Loki has a bit more meatier role in this too as well, so he gets to play the bad guy a little bit more in this one. It's fun to see Tom Hiddleston kind of bring out that role again as Loki, so he's kind of like one of the standout performances in the movie. But don't get me wrong, I don't care how much they say that Tom Hiddleston is the standout role. It's not called Loki, it's called Thor. So Chris Hemsworth brings a bit more meatier substance to Thor's role, and he gives him a lot more of a heart than the last one, where he's kind of like, you're kind of getting to know him. Now we already know who Thor is, and now we can see him kind of strut his stuff and do some cool things that we've never seen him before, they fleshed out his role pretty good in the Avengers as well, but when he battles Malekith, it is pretty awesome. It's pretty cool, and it's a pretty awesome battle scene and stuff like that. And it's just an all around good movie. I thought it was a lot better than Iron Man 3. It was just more fun. Don't get me wrong, Iron Man 3 was good, but Thor: The Dark World was much better, and I thought that it was a lot more fun than Iron Man 3. They did a better job of fleshing out, of giving his character more to do after the second go-around, and I was happy with that. I just didn't think they gave Tony Stark much to do in Iron Man 3, and I just don't really think they fleshed it out. Here in Thor, they give you exactly what you want. They give you a second level of what Thor is going to have to go through to save Earth once again. So, and that's what you want in these Marvel movies too. You want to see these guys and how they have to put up with everything in the second in the second go around, in the second phase. So that's what you want. All right, I give it 3 3/4 stars, almost 4 stars. It was damn good. It was a good movie, and I'd recommend it. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. I have to cut this off. And thank you for watching my review, and you have a good Thanksgiving too.